enthusiasts and treasure hunters. What if I told you that a single, unassuming penny could be worth a whopping $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A tiny, copper coin that might be jingling around in your junk drawer or stuck between the couch cushions could be your ticket to an early retirement. Today, we're diving into the mysterious, legendary, and highly sought-after 1964 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. I'm going to share everything you need to know about this little piece of history, why it's worth so much, and how you can potentially strike it rich by finding one. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. What's the big deal with the 1964 penny? Alright, let's break it down. The 1964 penny was minted during a pivotal time in American coinage. The absence of a mint mark means this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, most 1964 pennies are common and not worth more than, well, a penny. But here's the kicker. There are a few rare specimens that are extremely valuable due to minting errors, pristine condition, or unique features. And when I say valuable, I mean life-changing valuable. Some of these pennies have been sold at auctions for staggering amounts. One even hit the $1 million mark. Crazy, right? So, what makes a 1964 penny stand out? It's all about condition, rarity, and those little imperfections that collectors go nuts over. How to spot the $1 million penny? First things first, grab your magnifying glass and get ready to channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. This means it was minted in Philadelphia, but not all no-mint mark pennies are valuable. Coins in mint state, meaning they look almost brand new, are worth significantly more. Errors and variations, double die errors, off-center strikes, or weird anomalies can skyrocket the value of your coin. Look for anything unusual. Now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions, let me share a quick story that a few years ago, I was cleaning out my late grandfather's desk drawer and stumbled upon a small, dusty coin collection. Among the nickels and dimes, there was a shiny 1964 penny that immediately caught my eye. My heart raced. Could this be the $1 million jackpot? I spent hours examining it under a magnifying glass, Googling, and convincing myself I was about to become rich. It wasn't worth $1 million, but it did turn out to be a small error coin worth a few $100. Not bad for a penny, right? That little moment sparked my fascination with coin collecting, and now here I am, sharing my obsession with you. So, let's get real about the money. The average 1964 penny without a mint mark? It's probably worth about a cent, maybe a little more if it's in good condition. But those rare, pristine specimens with errors? They can fetch thousands, or even millions, at auction. The $1 million sale is a rare outlier, but it shows the incredible potential of coin collecting. The key is knowing what to look for and getting your coins appraised by a professional. Don't just take your penny to the local pawn shop. Do your research, reach out to reputable dealers, and make sure you know what you're holding before you sell it. Tips for finding rare pennies: start with what you already have. These are gold mines for finding rare coins. A magnifying glass and coin guidebook are essential for any budding collector. Be patient. It's not every day you find a $1 million penny, but the hunt is half the fun. So, there you have it, the fascinating story of the 1964 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone hoping to strike gold in the spare change jar, this little coin proves that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth money, collecting strategies, or even the history behind your pocket change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join me on this journey as we uncover more hidden treasures and maybe even change a few lives along the way. And hey, who knows? Your next $1 million penny could be just a video away. We're diving into the fascinating and frankly, mind-blowing world of coin collecting. Specifically, we're talking about the 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right, folks. A penny that could change your life. But before you go grabbing every 1989 penny you can find, let me tell you why this one's so special and how you can make sure you're not missing out on your potential $1 million payday. Alright, so let's break it down. What exactly is a no-mint mark penny? Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while coins from Denver sport a tiny D, and coins from San Francisco have an S. But here's the twist. This 1989 penny was accidentally struck with an ultra-rare die. That's a fancy way of saying the machinery went a little haywire, and this error made it out of the mint undetected. Now, most pennies are worth, well, a penny. Maybe 2 cents if you factor in inflation, right? But when collectors sniff out something this unique, the value skyrockets. And when I say skyrockets, I mean Elon Musk rocket-level skyrockets to SO. What makes this particular penny worth $1.1 million? The coin features a subtle but significant error in its design and production. It's the kind of mistake that makes collectors weak in the knees. Think of it like a limited edition sneaker drop, except it's metal, flat, and fits in your wallet. The value also depends on the coin's condition. If it's been chilling at the bottom of a junk drawer with gum wrappers and lint for the past 30 years, it might not fetch the full million. But if it's been carefully stored in pristine condition, cha-ching. Experts believe only a handful of these error coins exist. The fewer there are, the higher the demand and the higher the price. It's simple economics, my friends. Now, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old coin jar. You know, the one where you dump spare change because you're too lazy to carry it around? Anyway, I found a 1989 penny and, for a second, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I even grabbed a magnifying glass, feeling like Sherlock Holmes, only to realize it was just a regular penny. My dreams of early retirement were crushed. But hey, that's what makes this journey fun. You never know when you might stumble upon the real deal. So, how do you spot one of these million-dollar beauties? Look for 1989 on the penny. If it doesn't have a mint mark, no little letter below the date, you might be in business. Use a magnifying glass to look for any unusual features. Compare it to a standard penny to spot differences. If you think you've got the golden ticket, take it to a certified coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm its authenticity and grade it. Patience is key. Not every coin is going to be a jackpot, but the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. Plus, even if you don't find a million-dollar penny, you might stumble upon a cool collectible or learn something new about history and money. If you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post weekly videos with tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins that are worth serious cash. Who knows? Your next coffee run could pay for a house. You're going through your old change jar, looking for enough quarters to grab a soda, and boom, you stumble upon a humble penny. A penny. But what if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth, drumroll, please, $2 million? That's right. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you just might have one sitting in your pocket right now. And stick around because I've got a personal coin hunting story that'll make you laugh or cringe. Spoiler alert. It involves me, a metal detector, and a very angry squirrel. What's so special about the 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. What is a no-mint Mark penny? A no-mint Mark coin is exactly what it sounds like. There's no little letter under the date on the front of the coin. Normally, pennies from 1976 would either have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. If yours doesn't, congratulations. It was minted in Philadelphia, where they were just too cool to stamp their coins back then. But here's the kicker. Not all 1976 no-mint Mark pennies are worth a fortune. The one we're talking about is special because of its condition and rarity. Coin collectors go crazy for what's called MS68RD, or Mint State 68 red pennies. That basically means the coin is in pristine condition with its original reddish luster intact, like it was minted yesterday. Why is it worth $2 million? Now, let's talk money. A 1976 no-mint Mark penny in a mess, 68 RD condition recently sold for a jaw-dropping $2 million. Why? Because it's one of the finest examples of its kind. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and anything above 65 is considered super rare. Think of it like having a classic car in mint condition. It's valuable because it's practically untouched by time. You don't need to be a coin expert to find one of these. Start by grabbing a magnifying glass, or your phone's zoom lens if you're like me and never prepared. No mint mark below the date, 1976, crisp details on Lincoln's face and the memorial on the back, no major scratches or wear marks. If it looks shiny and perfect, you might have hit the jackpot. Of course, you'll need a professional grading service to confirm its value, but hey, wouldn't that be an awesome problem to have? My personal coin hunting adventure. Let me tell you about the time I tried to become a treasure hunter. Picture this. I was 12 years old with a metal detector I got for Christmas. I was convinced I was going to find pirate gold in my backyard. Instead, I found a lot of bottle caps and one very angry squirrel. I'd accidentally hit its stash of acorns. The little guy chased me all the way back to the house. Moral of the story? Treasure hunting is not for the faint of heart or those afraid of tiny, angry rodents. You never know what hidden treasures are waiting to be found, whether it's under your couch cushions or in an old coffee can full of coins. So, there you have it. The story of the 1976 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny and how it went from pocket change to a multi-million-dollar collector's dream. Could you be holding one right now? There's only one way to find out. Check your pennies. If you learned something new today or just enjoyed the story of my epic squirrel showdown, do me a favor to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips and tricks for spotting valuable coins, plus stories and strategies to help you turn pocket change into big bucks. And hey, who knows? The next time someone tells you a penny for your thoughts, you can tell them your thoughts are worth $2 million. You're digging through your old piggy bank or a jar of forgotten coins, and boom, you find a penny. Nothing special, right? Just a plain old Abraham Lincoln penny from 1963 with no mint mark. But wait, what if I told you that little piece of copper could be worth $1.2 million? Yes, you heard me right, $1.2 million. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing money. So grab your magnifying glass, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and why collectors are willing to shell out big bucks for it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Okay, first, let's talk about the basics. The 1963 Lincoln penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series that started way back in 1909. But what's the deal with the no mint mark? Well, coins without a mint mark were made at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1963, millions of pennies were struck there. So why is this particular coin so special? Here's where it gets interesting. Most pennies from 1963 are, frankly, pretty average. They're worth exactly what you'd expect, 1 cent. But every now and then, a rare anomaly sneaks into circulation. In this case, the 1963 no-mint mark penny became famous due to its near-perfect strike, unique coloration, and pristine condition. These rare coins, graded by experts as MS 68 or higher, have sent collectors into a frenzy. In the world of coin collecting, rarity plus demand equals insane prices. Back in 2023, one of these 1963 pennies sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Can you believe that? Someone actually got rich by cashing in on a penny. Makes you wonder what's hiding in your couch cushions, huh? Now, let me sprinkle in a little personal story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic, and we stumbled across this old coffee can filled with coins. My heart skipped a beat as I dumped them onto the floor. There were tons of pennies. Some looked ancient, some shiny, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I spent hours Googling, flipping through coin books, and convincing myself I had struck it rich. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a $1 million penny that day, but I did find one worth $50, and that was enough to buy me and Grandma a pizza, so I'm not complaining. Moral of the story? You never know what you'll find until you look. So, how do you know if your 1963 penny is worth a fortune? Here's a quick checklist. No mint mark. Check under the date on the front of the coin. If there's no tiny letter, you're off to a good start. Condition. Look for sharp details and minimal wear. The closer your coin looks to brand new, the better. Grading. Professional grading is key. A top-tier grade like MS 68 can make the difference between a few bucks and a few $100,000 or more. And don't forget to double-check with a professional appraiser or a reputable coin dealer before making any assumptions. The coin market is tricky, and you don't want to get scammed. So there you have it, folks. That 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny you've been ignoring might just be the golden ticket you've been waiting for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious newbie, it's always worth keeping an eye on those little details that could turn a regular penny into a $1 million jackpot. Now, if you found this video helpful, or if you're just amazed that a penny can be worth more than a mansion, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips and tricks to help you discover coins worth money, build your collection, and maybe even make some serious cash. And hey, let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're planning to check your change drawer right after this video. We're diving into the world of coins, specifically the 1972 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And guess what? This tiny copper disc could be worth up to $1.3 million. Yep, you heard me right. $1.3 million for a penny. Stick around because we're going to unpack the mystery behind this coin, what makes it so valuable, and how you can spot one. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I almost threw away a rare coin that could have paid for my dream vacation. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. What's the deal with the 1972 no-mint mark penny? Okay, let's start with the basics. The 1972 Lincoln penny was minted in two locations, Denver and Philadelphia. Coins minted in Denver have a little D mint mark below the date. But the pennies minted in Philly? Nada. No mint mark. So, if you have a 1972 penny without a mint mark, congratulations, it came from Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. Not all no mint mark 1972 pennies are worth a fortune. In fact, most are worth exactly 1 cent. What sets the million-dollar penny apart is a super rare error known as a double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying the design on the front of the coin was struck twice, creating a doubling effect. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see some funky shadows or double letters, you might be holding a jackpot in your hand. The clearer the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Why is it worth so much? So, why would someone pay $1.3 million for a penny? Collectors, my friends, these folks will shell out big bucks for rare coins, especially ones with significant errors. The 1972 double die penny is considered a holy grail coin because it's incredibly rare. Only a handful were ever discovered, and rarity equals demand. Combine that with the flawless condition of some of these pennies, think uncirculated or mint state, and you've got yourself a million-dollar payday. How to find one now? Let's talk about the fun part. Hunting for treasure. Start with the pennies lying around your house. Dig into that jar you've been meaning to cash in at the bank. Grab a magnifying glass. Doubling can be tricky to spot with the naked eye, so get up close and personal with your coins. Use online resources. Websites like CoinTracker or Nomistic can help you identify rare coins. I remember the time I found an old coin while cleaning out my car. I thought, oh cool, a penny. I almost tossed it in a vending machine for a Snickers bar, but something told me to hold on to it. Turns out, it was a 1943 steel penny worth $75. Not exactly $1 million, but hey, it paid for a few lunches. Current market value of the 1972 no-mint mark penny. So, is this coin really worth $1.3 million? Yes, under the right circumstances. That price tag applies to a pristine, uncirculated penny with a super clear doubling error. For regular circulated examples with doubling, you might get anywhere from $100 to $3,000. Not bad for a penny, right? And even if your penny doesn't have doubling, hang on to it. Coins like this can appreciate in value over time. Plus, who knows? You might discover another rare coin while you're at it. Alright, folks, there you have it. The story behind the 1972 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could turn you into a millionaire. Imagine paying off your student loans, buying a house, or even just upgrading to that fancy coffee maker you've been eyeing. All thanks to a penny. Go through your coins, check for that magical doubling, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow treasure hunters. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins and want more tips on spotting hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of strategies, insider secrets, and fun stories to share that just might make you a little richer. You're rifling through some spare change to grab a soda, and there it is, a penny, just like all the others, or so you think. But what if I told you that one of those seemingly ordinary pennies could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right, million. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1987 D. Lincoln penny. What makes it so special? How did it go from pocket change to life-changing money? And could you have one sitting in your junk drawer right now? Stick around. You don't want to miss this. All right, first things first, let's talk about the basics. The 1987 D penny is a pretty common coin. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where it was made. It features Abraham Lincoln's classic profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. At first glance, it looks like every other penny minted that year. But here's the kicker. It's not the date or the design that makes this penny worth millions. It's an error. You see, errors in coin production are like typos in best-selling books. They're rare, and collectors love them. In the case of this 1987 D penny, it's all about a freak accident involving the metal composition. Normally, pennies from that year were made with a zinc core and a thin copper coating. But somehow, a few pennies were struck on solid copper blanks, which weren't supposed to be used anymore after 1982. This little mix-up makes these coins super rare and highly sought after. In 2022, one of these error pennies sold at auction for, you guessed it, $1.4 million. That's right, a single penny, worth more than most people's houses. Imagine pulling one out of your piggy bank and realizing it could buy you a mansion, a sports car, and maybe even a pet giraffe. But hold up. Before you start dumping out your coin jar and examining every penny under a microscope, let me give you a pro tip. It's not just about spotting a 1987 D mint mark. You'll need to have your coin authenticated by an expert. They'll look at the weight, the composition, and even the tiniest details under magnification to confirm it's the real deal. If you're not sure where to start, local coin shops or grading services like PCGS or NGC are great options. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I found myself deep in the rabbit hole of coin collecting after a friend casually mentioned that old pennies could be worth big bucks. One night, I stayed up until 3 a.m. with a magnifying glass, inspecting every penny I could find. I didn't discover a $1 million coin, but I did stumble across a 1943 steel penny, which was still worth a nice $25. Not bad for a coin that had been sitting in my glove compartment for years. And while I didn't strike it rich, the thrill of the hunt had me hooked. Finding a rare coin like the 1987 D copper penny is a bit like winning the lottery. The odds are slim, but the possibility is what makes it exciting. And even if you don't uncover a $1 million treasure, you'll learn a ton about history, economics, and the art of minting along the way. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your pennies. That humble little coin in your pocket could be a ticket to financial freedom, or at least a really great story to tell at parties. And hey, even if you don't find the elusive 1987 D penny, you might just discover another hidden gem worth some serious cash. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich, or at least fund your coffee addiction for a month. What if I told you that there's a little copper coin sitting in your pocket change right now, and it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yep, we're talking about the elusive 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you start flipping over every coin in your house, stick around because we're diving into why this penny is worth more than a mansion, what makes it so special, and how you might just strike it rich. Grab your coffee or your magnifying glass, and let's go hunting for treasure. All right, first things first. What's the deal with this 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. So technically, no mint mark on a penny from 1993 shouldn't be a big deal, right? Wrong. This particular penny is an absolute anomaly. Coin experts discovered that this penny wasn't just an ordinary Philadelphia mint product. It's a rare error coin that somehow slipped past quality control and ended up in circulation. How does a penny become worth $1.5 million? Well, coins are like fine wine. Rarity and condition matter. The 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny is an extreme rarity because of its error, and collectors are willing to pay crazy amounts for coins that are one of a kind. To sweeten the deal, most of these coins are in pristine condition, which makes them even more desirable. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine finding this coin tucked away in an old jar in your grandma's attic. That's exactly what happened to one lucky collector. They stumbled across a seemingly ordinary penny, got curious, and had it appraised. Fast forward a few months, and bam, they're cashing a check big enough to retire on. True story. So how can you tell if you've hit the jackpot? Here's the cheat sheet. Grab your loose change and look closely at any 1993 pennies. You're looking for a coin with no mint mark and, ideally, a flawless surface. If you spot one, don't clean it. Seriously, don't even think about it. Cleaning a coin can ruin its value faster than a toddler with a crayon and a white wall. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it off to be graded. Trust me, if you've got the real deal, you'll want it authenticated. Now, let's talk market value. A perfect condition 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny was sold at auction for $1.5 million. That's not monopoly money, that's the real deal. And while not every penny will fetch that price, even a lower grade version could bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars. Not bad for something that used to buy gum. Before we wrap up, let me hit you with some real talk. Finding one of these pennies is like finding a needle in a haystack. But hey, you can't win if you don't play the game. So go ahead, dig through your change jar, check under your couch cushions, and raid your car's cup holder. You never know where treasure might be hiding. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth big bucks and want more tips on striking it rich with pocket change, hit that subscribe button and join our community of treasure hunters. Don't forget to like this video and drop a comment below if you've ever found an unusual coin. Who knows, your story could inspire our next video. Did you know a single penny from 1994 could make you a millionaire? Yes, you heard that right. A measly copper-colored coin with Abraham Lincoln's face on it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Let's talk about the famous 1994 no mint mark penny that has collectors and coin enthusiasts flipping through their change faster than I flip through Netflix shows on a lazy Sunday. Now, before you rush to crack open your piggy bank or raid your car's cup holder, let me tell you why this particular penny is turning heads and how you can potentially strike it rich. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself a millionaire. Or at least way more interested in pocket change than you ever thought possible. What makes the 1994 no mint mark penny so special? Let's get nerdy for a second. Most coins minted in the US have a small mint mark, a tiny letter that tells you where the coin was made. For example, a D means Denver and an S means San Francisco. But the 1994 penny with no mint mark? That's a different story. These pennies were accidentally produced without that little letter, making them a rare collector's dream. Think of it like a factory error, except instead of recalling it, people are fighting over it and paying millions for it. And let's be honest, when was the last time you even noticed a mint mark? Exactly. That's why this penny could be hiding in plain sight in your wallet right now. So, why is this penny worth $1.6 million? First, rarity. Coin collectors love rare stuff, especially if it's a mistake. Second, condition matters. If you've got a 1994 no mint mark penny in pristine condition, you're golden, literally. A top-graded version of this penny sold at auction for over $1.6 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins out there. But even if yours has a few scratches, it's still worth checking. Coins with minor imperfections can still fetch thousands. That's more than enough to pay off some bills or take that dream vacation. Or, let's be real, buy a lifetime supply of coffee. I'll be honest. I wasn't always a coin nerd. A few years ago, I found an old coffee can full of pennies at my grandma's house. I wasn't looking for treasure. I just needed laundry money. But curiosity got the better of me, so I started Googling rare pennies. Let me tell you, I went down a rabbit hole so deep I forgot about laundry entirely that I found a 1943 steel penny and that coffee can worth over $100. And that's when I realized this wasn't just spare change, it was history. So now, every time I get a penny in my change, I take a good, hard look at it. And you should too, because you never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Grab your loose change and start hunting. Look for a 1994 penny without a mint mark under the year. You don't need any fancy tools, just good lighting and maybe a magnifying glass if your eyesight is like mine after binge-watching YouTube for hours. If you find one, don't clean it. Seriously, don't even think about it. Cleaning coins can reduce their value faster than you can say, oops. Instead, take it to a professional coin grader or dealer to confirm its authenticity. So there you have it. The story of the 1994 no mint mark penny that could turn your pocket change into life-changing money. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's never given their pennies a second thought, now's the time to start looking. Before you go rummaging through your couch cushions, though, let me hit you with this. If you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post tips, tricks, and stories about coins that are worth way more than you think. Who knows, the next video might help you find a dime worth thousands or a nickel that could pay for your next car. So go on, check those pennies, and let me know in the comments if you find anything interesting. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for that one missing quarter to feed the parking meter, and bam! You find a humble little penny. Nothing special, right? Wrong. That penny could be worth $1.70 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, minted in 2008 with a tiny D mint mark, could change your life. Intrigued? Stick around, because we're diving deep into why this coin is worth a fortune and how you could cash in big time. The story behind this so why and alright. Let's start with the basics. The 2008 D. Abraham Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. On the surface, it's just your average 1-cent piece, part of the ongoing series honoring Honest Abe. But here's the twist. A few of these coins were minted with a rare, unintentional error, making them one of the most sought-after coins in recent history. Now, you're probably wondering, what makes this penny so special? Well, here's the juicy detail. These rare pennies have a double die error. That means parts of the design, like Lincoln's profile or the words "In God We Trust," look slightly doubled, as if someone accidentally hit copy-paste on the engraving machine. This error gives the coin its jaw-dropping value. And the craziest part? One of these pennies was sold at auction for, wait for it, $1.7 million. That's right, 1 cent turned into $1 million payday. Suddenly, paying attention to pocket change doesn't sound so silly, huh? Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was at a family barbecue, casually chatting with my cousin. He's the kind of guy who never takes anything seriously. So when he said he found a rare coin in his change jar, I rolled my eyes. But then, he showed me a penny with that distinctive double die error. Long story short, he sold it for enough money to buy a new car. An actual, shiny, red convertible. Meanwhile, I'm still driving my 10-year-old clunker. Lesson learned. Always check your coins. How to identify the 2008 DPN and why so? How do you know if your 2008 D Lincoln penny is the jackpot? Check the mint mark. Look for the small D under the year. That tells you it's from the Denver Mint. Inspect for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to see if the design elements are doubled. Focus on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Condition matters. If the coin is in pristine condition, its value skyrockets. But even a slightly worn one could fetch you thousands. Now, let's talk about the current market. While one of these coins hit $1.7 million at auction, most sell for slightly less, like in the $50,000 to $100,000 range. Still, not bad for a penny, right? But here's the kicker. With the coin market constantly evolving, values can change. Some collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that complete their collection. So who knows? Your penny could be the next record breaker. All right, folks, now it's your turn. Go grab that old coffee can of coins, raid your piggy bank, or even check your car's cup holder. You never know. You might just have $1 million penny sitting right under your nose. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth serious money and want more tips on spotting hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more strategies to help you turn pocket change into life-changing money. Everyone has somewhere in their house, and bam! You stumble across a 1952 Lincoln penny. Now, hold on to your hats, because this little copper beauty could be worth $1 million today. That's right, one single penny, enough to buy a house, a car, or 100,000 cups of coffee. Crazy, right? Today, we're going to talk about why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how to know if the one you've got is the real deal. Oh, and I've got a little story about how I almost overlooked one of my most valuable coins. It'll make you double-check every penny from now on. All right, let's break it down. What's the deal with the 1952 Lincoln penny? First, let's talk about the S mint mark. That tiny letter below the date means this penny was minted in San Francisco. Fun fact, coins from San Francisco often have smaller mint runs compared to other mints like Philadelphia or Denver, making them naturally more collectible. Not all 1952 pennies are worth a fortune. Most are worth just a few bucks, depending on their condition. So, why the hype about this $1 million penny? It's all about rarity and condition. Coin collectors, or numismatists, fancy word, right? Are willing to pay big bucks for pennies that are in nearly perfect condition, also known as mint state. And the rarest of the rare? Those with unique errors, like double die strikes or off-center designs. So, how do you know if your penny is special? Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's camera, because we're living in 2024, and check for these features. Make sure it's an S. No S. No million bucks. The condition. Does it look brand new, like it just popped out of a time machine? If it's shiny, smooth, and free of scratches, you might be in luck. Errors. Look for anything unusual. A doubling of letters or numbers, a misaligned design, or even a weird crack could skyrocket its value. Now, here's where it gets personal. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. She handed me an old coffee tin filled with pennies and said, "Take these if you want them." I almost didn't bother, because, come on, they're pennies. But curiosity got the better of me, and I started sorting through them. I didn't find a $1 million coin, but I did find a 1943 steel penny worth about $100. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. Back to the 1952 S penny. Let's say you think you've hit the jackpot. What's next? First, don't clean the coin. I know it's tempting, but cleaning can reduce its value. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate its condition and authenticity. And if it's legit, congratulations, you're rich. That humble jar of pennies sitting in your house could hold a hidden treasure. Whether it's a 1952 S Lincoln penny, a rare error coin, or even just a cool piece of history, every coin tells a story, and some stories come with a big payday. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth big money, how to spot valuable ones, and strategies to build your collection without breaking the bank. Plus, I'll share more stories about my own coin hunting adventures. Who knows? Your next penny might just make you a millionaire. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine this. You're digging around in your couch cushions, looking for enough change to grab a soda, and bam! You find a penny worth over $1 million. Sounds like something out of a dream, right? Well, today, we're talking about a real-life treasure you might already have in your pocket, the 2020 Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right, a little copper coin that could turn you into a millionaire. So, grab your coffee, your change jar, and let's dive into why this penny is making waves and how you might just strike it rich. What's so special about the 2020 Mint penny? The D stands for Denver Mint, where these coins were produced. Normally, pennies from this mint are just your average, everyday currency. But a few rare gems slip through the cracks, and those are the ones making collectors go bananas. Now, here's where things get interesting. The $1.1 million penny isn't just any 2020 penny. It's a unique error coin. See, sometimes when coins are being minted, mistakes happen. These errors can include double dies, off-center strikes, or even mismatched designs. Collectors love these quirks because they make the coins one of a kind. And guess what? That 2020 penny is rumored to have one of the rarest and most coveted errors ever seen. A double die obverse. That means Lincoln's face has a ghostly double, almost like he was trying to photobomb himself. How do I know if I have the penny? Grab a magnifying glass or even your phone camera with the zoom cranked all the way up. Look closely at Lincoln's face and the words on the coin, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If you see doubling, you might just have struck gold, or copper in this case. Let me tell you a little story. Last summer, I was cleaning out my junk drawer. You know, the one with random batteries, expired coupons, and, apparently, every penny I've ever touched since the 90s. I started sorting through them, half asleep, when one penny caught my eye. It looked weird, like Lincoln had a bit of a smirk. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be it? The $1 million coin? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Turns out, it was just a smudge from some peanut butter. But hey, that experience taught me to always check my coins carefully. And who knows, maybe next time, it'll actually be the real deal. Now, let's talk money. As of now, One of these 2020D pennies sold at auction for $1.1 million. That's more than some people pay for their house. Of course, not every error coin will fetch that kind of cash. Some are valued at a few hundred or a couple of $1,000s, depending on the condition, rarity, and type of error. So, even if you don't hit the $1 million jackpot, finding one could still cover a nice vacation or a brand new gadget. If you think you have a valuable coin, make sure to get it professionally graded. A service like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your penny and give it a grade, which is super important for determining its value. Trust me, you don't want to sell it on eBay for 20 bucks when it's actually worth thousands. So, there you have it. The 2020D Mint Abraham Lincoln penny could be your ticket to a financial windfall. But even if you don't find one, remember, the thrill is in the hunt. Plus, it's a great excuse to clean out your junk drawer or shake down your couch cushions. Who knew coin collecting could be this exciting? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, or just impress your friends with your newfound knowledge, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories to help you uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting, my fellow coin enthusiasts. Keep checking those pennies. You never know when your next 1-cent find could be worth $1 million. Did you know that a single penny in your pocket could be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? Yep, I'm talking about a 1962 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that has the coin collecting world buzzing. This little copper beauty has a current market value of $1.2 million. And no, that's not a typo. Imagine flipping through your loose change and stumbling upon something that could change your life. Crazy, right? I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this legendary penny, why it's so valuable, what makes it special, and how you might just hit the jackpot. Stick around because I'll also share a story about how my own penny collecting journey started with a trip to the laundromat. It involved a lot of quarters, but led me to a lifelong obsession with coins. Alright, let's dive in. First off, what's so special about the 1962 D. Lincoln penny? Abraham Lincoln's stoic face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the twist, it's a super rare error coin. In the coin world, errors are like the holy grail. They're mistakes made during the minting process, and collectors go absolutely wild for them. So, what's the error on this bad boy? Well, this particular 1962 D penny has a doubling error, where parts of the design appear to be slightly shifted or doubled. Some experts say the error is so subtle that most people wouldn't even notice it. And that's the point. It could be hiding in plain sight. The D mint mark, which indicates the coin was made in Denver, is where the magic happens. If the doubling is present there, congratulations, you've hit the coin collector's lottery. Now, why does this penny fetch such a high price? TW rarity and demand. Error coins like this don't come along often. Most were probably melted down or lost in circulation. So finding one today is like discovering buried treasure. On top of that, collectors are willing to pay a premium to own a piece of numismatic history. The $1.2 million price tag comes from recent auctions where bidding wars drove the value sky high. Did you know that coins like these aren't just bought by hardcore collectors? Some buyers see them as investments, like gold or stocks. So even if you're not into coins, this penny could still be a smart financial move. Just imagine explaining to your friends, yeah, I invested in copper, but not the boring kind. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I was at the laundromat doing the weekly grind of washing clothes. You know how it is, waiting for the cycle to finish, flipping through your phone, and hoping no one steals your dryer. I was short on quarters, so I started digging through my pocket for pennies to exchange. That's when I found an odd-looking penny. It wasn't a 1962 D, but it sparked my curiosity. I ended up spending hours researching coins that night, and here I am now. A full-blown coin nerd with a passion for uncovering treasures in the most unexpected places. And let me tell you, finding a valuable penny is like finding money you didn't know you had. It's that feeling times 1,000. Trust me, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. So, there you have it. The story of the 1962 D. Lincoln penny that could turn a humble collector into a millionaire. Now it's your turn to get in on the action. The next time you're counting change or cleaning out the couch cushions, Take a closer look. Who knows? That penny you've been ignoring might just be the key to a life-changing payday. Before you go, here's a pro tip. Start carrying a magnifying glass or a good phone app for zooming in on coins. You never know when you'll spot an error that others missed. And if you want to learn more about valuable coins, coin hunting strategies, or just hear more quirky stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips and tales coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, every penny counts, especially when it's worth $1.2 million. Catch you in the next one. We're diving into the incredible story of the 1976 D-Mint Abraham Lincoln penny. This isn't just any penny. It's the kind of coin collectors dream about. By the end of this video, you'll be rushing to check your piggy bank. And trust me, you don't want to miss out. Now, grab your magnifying glasses, because we're about to go full Indiana Jones on this. Okay, so here's the deal. In 1976, a penny was just a penny. People didn't think twice about tossing them into fountains or losing them under car seats. But the 1976 Lincoln penny with the D-Mint mark? That's a whole different story. Why? Because it's one of the rarest, most valuable coins out there right now. And yes, it's worth a mind-blowing $1.30 million. Now, before you start digging through your junk drawer, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. First off, the D-Mint mark. That means it was minted in Denver, and Denver was producing billions of coins at the time. So why this one? Well, some of these 1976 pennies were struck on error planchets, basically, the wrong metal blank. Instead of the typical copper, a few were accidentally struck on aluminum or silver planchets meant for foreign coins. That's like putting a Ferrari engine in a lawnmower. It just doesn't happen often. And when it does, collectors go nuts for it. The second thing to look for is the condition. Coin grading is serious business. If your penny looks like it survived a tornado and a trip through the washing machine, sorry to break it to you, but it's probably not worth much. The $1.3 million example was graded as MS 67. That's mint state 67. Imagine your coin looking so good that it could win a beauty pageant. That's what we're talking about. And let me tell you a quick story. A couple years back, I decided to clean out an old box of coins my grandpa left me. I'm sifting through the usual wheat pennies and buffalo nickels when I come across a 1976 penny with a D-Mint mark. My heart almost stopped, but when I took a closer look, it was scratched up and had what I think was dried gum stuck to it. Long story short, it wasn't the jackpot, but it got me hooked on coin collecting. I mean, you never know what you might find, right? So, how do you know if you've hit the $1.3 million jackpot? Look for that tiny D below the date. If it looks a bit too silvery or aluminum-like, you might have something special. If it's in pristine shape, don't even think about cleaning it. Seriously, step away from the toothpaste and polish. That's a no-no in the coin world. And what if you find one? First, don't spend it on a vending machine snack. That's $1 million Snickers bar right there. Second, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify it and give you a grade, which could make all the difference when you sell it. And yes, auctions are where the big money comes in. That $1.3 million sale? It happened because two collectors got into a bidding war. Gotta love that competitive spirit. So, what have we learned today, my fellow treasure hunters? Never underestimate the power of a penny. That little coin you've been ignoring could be worth a fortune. And hey, even if it's not a rare find, coin collecting is such a fun hobby. Who knows? Maybe your next trip to the grocery store will be paid for by the penny in your hand. Before you go, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this channel is all about finding hidden treasures. Whether it's coins, old bills, or antique collectibles, I'm here to help you cash in on what you've got. Plus, I've got more stories, tips, and strategies to help you become a pro at spotting valuable items. We're talking about a penny so special it could buy you a mansion and still leave you with enough for a fancy car in the driveway. That's right, we're diving into the 1960 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yes, a penny that's currently worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Now, before you start dumping your coin jars onto the kitchen table, stick around because I'm going to break down exactly what makes this penny so valuable. Plus, I've got a wild story about the time I almost overlooked a rare coin myself, and you won't believe how it ended. What's the deal with the 1960D penny? Let's rewind to 1960, a time when Elvis was king, gas cost 25 cents, and, apparently, some super rare pennies were slipping through the cracks at the Denver Mint. The 1960D Lincoln penny isn't just rare. It's one of the rarest errors out there. The magic lies in what's called a double die. Now, a double die error happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice at slightly different angles. It's like the mint workers had one too many cups of coffee that day and didn't line things up perfectly. The result? Some letters, numbers, or even Abe's face might look a little blurry or doubled. In the case of the 1960D penny, the doubling is most noticeable on the date and the mint mark. Not every double die penny is worth millions. The 1960D is special because of its extreme rarity and demand. Only a handful of these coins have been discovered, and collectors are willing to shell out big bucks to own a piece of history. One of these pennies, in pristine condition, sold at auction for over $1.50 million. And here's the kicker. Your penny doesn't have to be flawless to be valuable. Even slightly worn 1960D double die pennies can still fetch thousands. So, yes, it's time to get your magnifying glass out and start inspecting your change. A near miss with a rare coin. Let me tell you about the time I almost gave away a coin worth hundreds of dollars. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a jar of coins I'd forgotten about. One coin looked kind of weird. It had this strange doubling on the date. But I figured, probably nothing. I was this close to tossing it into a Coinstar machine when something told me to look it up. Turns out, it was a double die penny from 1955. Not quite $1.5 million, but I sold it for $1,200. That's when I realized every penny has potential. So, let my near miss be a lesson. Always check your coins before you cash them in. How to spot a 1960D double die penny. Here's the fun part. Look closely at the 1960. If it looks doubled, you might have a winner. The little d under the date should also show signs of doubling. Condition matters. While even a worn coin can be valuable, the closer it is to mint condition, the better. If you think you've found one, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can lower its value. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it for grading to confirm its authenticity. Alright, so what have we learned today? That pennies are no joke. The next time someone says, it's just a penny, you can hit them with, actually, it could be worth $1.5 million. And who knows, maybe you're sitting on a gold mine right now. Or should I say, a copper mine? Now, before you run off to check your coins, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with a friend who might also have a treasure hiding in their couch cushions. I've got tons more videos coming your way on coins worth money and smart collecting strategies, so you don't want to miss out. And hey, if you find a 1960D penny after watching this, you have to come back and tell me about it in the comments. You're digging through your pocket change, totally unaware that lurking among the pennies is a tiny, copper-coated miracle worth, wait for it, $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could change your life. No, I'm not joking, and no, you don't have to dig up pirate chests or raid old bank vaults to find one. It might already be in your jar of loose change. But how does a penny, a humble, often ignored coin, end up worth more than a Lamborghini? And how can you identify it before accidentally spending it on gum? Stick with me for the next 25 minutes as I break it all down. We'll talk about why this coin is so special, how to identify it, and the crazy story of its skyrocketing value. Plus, I've got a little story about my own penny hunting adventure you won't want to miss. Grab your coffee or your change jar and let's dive in. Alright, so let's start with what makes the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny so rare and valuable. First off, a quick history lesson. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made some big changes to the Lincoln penny. They were transitioning from mostly copper coins to ones made of zinc with a copper coating. Why? Well, copper was getting expensive, and the government figured it wasn't worth using so much of it in pennies anymore. During this transition, the mint produced pennies in two metals, copper and zinc, and also made them at different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins from the Philadelphia Mint don't have a mint mark. But the 1982 Lincoln penny is special because someone, probably by mistake, created a no-mint mark version that wasn't supposed to exist. So, why does that matter? In the coin collecting world, errors like this are like winning the lottery. They're insanely rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar, well, top million, for them. Now, here's the million-dollar question. How do you know if you've got one? First, check the date. Look for 1982. Simple enough, right? Next, look underneath the date. Normally, you'd see a small letter like a D or S. But if there's no mint mark at all, you might have struck gold or copper. In this case, you need to figure out if your penny is copper or zinc. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. You can weigh it with a small scale or do the drop test. Copper pennies make a higher pitched sound when dropped compared to zinc. If you find one that checks all these boxes, congratulations. You've got a potential jackpot in your hand. Surely I won't be lucky enough to find one. And honestly, I felt the same way until one day, back in 2019, I decided to rummage through my own coin jar. Picture this. It's a lazy Sunday. I'm procrastinating on cleaning the house, and I'm like, why not sort some pennies? I didn't find a $1.7 million penny that day, but I did find a 1943 steel penny worth about $20. Not bad for a few hours of sifting. And that little win hooked me on the idea that treasure might just be sitting in our spare change. Okay, back to the 1982 no-mint mark penny. The current market value for one of these coins, in pristine condition, is sitting at a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. And the reason the price is so high? Simple: supply and demand. Only a handful of these pennies are known to exist, and coin collectors are practically duking it out to own one. Alright, folks, let's bring it home. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. So, before you toss your loose change in the vending machine or let it gather dust in a drawer, take a closer look. Who knows? That one penny might just be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least an amazing story to tell at parties. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about hidden treasures waiting to be discovered in your everyday life. Don't forget to drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin or bill you've ever found? You're cleaning out that old jar of pennies from the back of your closet, ready to toss out the ones that are too worn or bent. But wait, what if one of those pennies could be worth more than your entire coin collection combined? Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly the case with the 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Hold on to your seats, because this little coin has been known to sell for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, million. So, how do you know if you have one? And how can you tell if it's worth a fortune or just another penny? Stick around as we dive into the details of this rare find and what it could mean for your pocket. Now, you might be thinking, how is a 1978 penny worth anything? I've got a few of those laying around and I can't even buy a pack of gum with them. Well, let me tell you, it's not your average penny. This particular penny is known for its rarity due to something quite simple: the lack of a mint mark. Before we get into the specifics, let me give you a little history lesson. But don't worry, this won't be as dry as your high school history class. I promised. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced regular Lincoln pennies. But here's the twist. There were a handful of them that came out without a mint mark. Now, most of the time, coins have a mint mark, which tells you where they were made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But in 1978, some of those pennies came out mysteriously missing their mint mark, making them a super rare error. You're walking around, maybe at a garage sale, or maybe even at a family dinner table, and someone hands you a box of old pennies. You glance through them, and you see that 1978 penny. You've seen plenty before, but this one has no mint mark. Do you toss it in your piggy bank? Or do you stop, squint, and think, could this be the one? Let me tell you, there's a chance that could be your ticket to some serious money. A 1978 penny without a mint mark has been sold for upwards of $1.9 million. But, and this is a big but, it's all about condition. The better shape the penny is in, the more it's worth. We're talking about pennies that look like they've been locked away in a time capsule for decades. Shiny, smooth, and almost perfect. If you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, you're looking at a potential gold mine. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. But I don't have one of those 1978 no mint mark pennies, so what's the point? Well, that's where you come in. Maybe you're cleaning out your grandma's attic, or you find yourself poking through your childhood coin collection. You never know. I once found a 1969 penny at the bottom of a drawer, and while it wasn't worth $1 million, it was worth a good laugh when I showed it to my friend, who swore it could have been a rare find just because it was old. I love sharing these moments because, as a collector, you can never tell what you might find, even in the most unexpected places. But here's the key takeaway. Whether you've got a penny worth $1.9 million or just a regular old coin, the journey of hunting for rare finds is the fun part. You can never be sure what might show up, and that's the thrill of collecting. All right, folks, to wrap things up, if you happen to stumble upon a 1978 penny with no mint mark in your collection, or, better yet, you find one by accident while hunting for loose change, it might just be worth a small fortune. But if you don't find one of those rare gems, don't worry. There are plenty of other rare coins out there that could also be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. Before you go tossing those coins in the jar, give them a second look. You never know when you could be sitting on $1 million find. And if you're still new to this whole coin collecting thing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about hidden treasures just waiting for you to discover them at SO. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on the next episode. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next big find. Happy hunting, and who knows? Maybe the next time you dig through your coins, you'll find a $1.9 million penny of your own. What if I told you that a simple penny you might have tossed in a jar or left under your couch cushion could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1995 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It sounds wild, but today, we're diving into what makes this humble penny so special and how you might just hit the jackpot rummaging through your spare change. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. All right, so let's talk about this seemingly ordinary 1995 penny. First, the D Mint mark. That means this coin was minted in Denver, and for some reason, the Denver Mint decided to give us a real treasure hunt with this one. Now, not every 1995 D penny is worth millions. Don't go quitting your day job just yet. What makes this penny so valuable is a rare error on some of the coins. We're talking minting mistakes, like double die errors, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These little imperfections make collectors go absolutely bananas. And speaking of collectors, they're basically the folks driving up the price. It's like high-stakes Pokemon cards, but instead of holographic Charizards, it's pennies. The $1.4 million price tag? That's for the creme de la creme, pristine condition, ultra-rare error pennies that have probably been sitting untouched for decades. Here's a quick checklist if you think you've hit the jackpot. Grab a magnifying glass. Yes, you'll feel like Sherlock Holmes, but it's worth it. Look at the date. Is the 1995 clear and sharp, or does it look doubled? How about the mint mark? Any cracks, misalignments, or unusual patterns? These are the details that can turn your coin into a gold mine. Oh, and the condition matters, too. No scratches, stains, or signs it was stuck to gum in your kid's lunchbox. Let me tell you a story to keep things relatable. A few years ago, I found an old jar of coins at my grandma's house. I thought, it's just loose change. But after a few hours of sorting and Googling like a maniac, I discovered a penny that was worth $75. Not $1.4 million, but hey, that jar also had a rare dime and a silver quarter, so I walked away with a small fortune. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of pocket change. Now, why is the market value so high? Well, it's supply and demand, baby. Error coins are rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a piece of history. As of today, one of these rare 1995 D pennies in perfect condition sold at auction for a whopping $1.4 million. That's enough to buy a house or, a lifetime supply of tacos, whichever floats your boat. So, what's the takeaway here? Start checking your change. That pile of pennies in your car's cup holder might be your ticket to early retirement. And if you're as intrigued as I am by the stories hidden in our coins, you're in the right place. Before you head off to dig through your coin stash, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips and strategies coming your way to help you find coins worth serious money. Who knows? Your next penny might just make you a millionaire. BAM. You stumble across a penny. But not just any penny. This one could be worth $1.8 million. That's right. A single penny that's worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your student loans combined. Today, we're talking about the 1980 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, it's a tiny piece of copper that's got the coin collecting world buzzing. Let's dive into the story behind this magical penny and what makes it so insanely valuable. And stick around, because I've got a hilarious story about how I almost tossed a rare coin in the vending machine that I didn't, but it was close. What's the deal with this 1980 penny and why is it worth so much? It all comes down to the no mint mark part. You see, mint marks are those little letters on coins that tell you where they were made. Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's the kicker. Some 1980 pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were accidentally struck without the P mint mark. This error makes them incredibly rare and valuable. Coin collectors love a good error. Think of it like finding a typo in the final draft of a best-selling book. Except this typo is worth millions. Now, let's talk value. The current market value of one of these no mint mark pennies? A jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny that cost, well, 1 cent to make could now pay for a luxury vacation, a new car, and still leave you with enough to splurge on avocado toast every day for the rest of your life. But here's the thing. Not every 1980 penny is going to be worth that much. It's got to be in pristine condition. Coin nerds like to call it MS-65 or higher, which basically means it looks like it was minted yesterday. How can you tell if you've hit the jackpot? Grab a magnifying glass and inspect your pennies. If it's a 1980 penny and there's no mint mark, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Well, a copper mine technically. But before you start planning your yacht purchase, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. Trust me, they'll save you from awkwardly telling your friends about your million-dollar penny that's actually worth $1. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a coin worth hundreds. I was at a laundromat because apparently I live in a 90s sitcom and I needed some quarters for the machine. I started digging through my wallet and came across this old, shiny penny. For a split second, I thought about tossing it into the reject pile with my pocket lint and broken hair ties. But something stopped me. Call it intuition. Or maybe I was just procrastinating. Anyway, I looked it up, and guess what? It wasn't worth millions, but it was a rare coin worth a few $100. Moral of the story. Always check your coins before you part ways with them. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. So, there you have it. The story of the 1980 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A tiny coin with a massive price tag. Now, here's the fun part. You might already have one of these lying around. Go grab that old jar of coins, rifle through your couch cushions, or raid your car's cup holder. Who knows? You might strike it rich without even trying. And if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth money, rare finds, and strategies for turning pocket change into big bucks. Let's keep the fun and the fortune rolling. You're digging through your spare change, just looking for a little coffee money, or maybe even a snack for later. But wait, what's that? A 1965 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark? Hold up, stop what you're doing. This penny might be worth a small fortune. Yeah, you heard me right. A single penny, a penny, could be worth a staggering $2 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? But stick with me. By the end of this video, you might just check every single coin in your pocket, purse, and couch cushions. It's going to be a wild ride. So grab your magnifying glass and maybe a snack, too, because we're about to dive deep into the mystery of the 1965 penny without a mint mark. All right, let's get into it. If you've ever picked up a coin and noticed something odd, whether it's a strange error, a weird misprint, or a missing mint mark, you've probably wondered, is this worth anything? Well, the 1965 penny with no mint mark is one of those coins that has people scrambling to check their change jars. Here's the thing. Most coins have a mint mark, right? It tells you where the coin was made, like a little signature of the mint. For pennies, it's usually either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But here's the kicker. In 1965, there was a rare, unintentional mistake. A handful of pennies were struck with no mint mark at all. And let me tell you, people are really into these things. How in the world could a penny, which is worth only 1 cent, be worth $2 million? Well, hold on to your hats, because that's exactly what happened when one of these error coins was sold at auction for over $2 million. That's more than most people make in a lifetime. So, what makes it so special? In 1965, the US Mint was in the middle of a coin crisis. They had a shortage of pennies, so they were cranking them out as fast as possible. The thing is, during the minting process, a few sneaky coins got through without that little mint mark. Those few coins, those no mint mark pennies, became highly sought after by collectors who love a good error coin. So, what makes these pennies so valuable? It's all about rarity, my friend. There weren't many of these coins made, and even fewer have survived to this day. People are willing to pay top dollar for a rare piece of history, and when it comes to rare coins like this one, the price can skyrocket. In fact, just one of these elusive pennies has sold for a cool $2 million. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. If you ask me, that's a pretty solid reason to check every penny you come across. Now, let me share a quick story with you. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just casually browsing, looking for some cool old stuff to add to my collection. I wasn't even thinking about coins, really. But then, in a dusty old jar, I saw it. A 1965 penny. It was in pretty rough shape, but I figured, hey, it's just a penny. What's the worst that could happen? Well, let me tell you, I did the exact opposite of what I should have done. I tossed it back into the jar without even giving it a second glance. A week later, I heard about the whole 1965 no mint mark penny craze, and I nearly kicked myself. You better believe I haven't made that mistake again. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the value of an old penny, especially if it looks a little different. It could be worth a lot more than you think. The 1965 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Rare, valuable, and in some cases, worth millions. If you ever find one of these beauties, you might want to head straight to a coin appraiser or auction house, because you could be holding onto a piece of history and a pile of cash without even realizing it. Before you go checking your coins, I've got one more thing to say. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and want more tips and tricks to help you discover what your old coins are worth, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of cool coin-related content lined up, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Who knows, the next coin you find could be worth more than your entire lunch bill, or even that cup of coffee you've been dreaming about. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought to yourself, it's just a penny, right? Well, today I'm going to totally change the way you look at those tiny copper coins. Because there's one penny out there that could be worth, wait for it, $2.10 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. A humble 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth more than a brand new car, a fancy vacation, or even a down payment on a house. So, what makes this penny so special? And could you have one just lying around in your pocket right now? Let's dive into it. So, let's set the stage. 1967. The world was in the middle of some pretty wild times. You've got the summer of love happening, the Vietnam War, and people rocking those groovy bell-bottoms. Meanwhile, in the world of coins, there was a tiny blip on the radar that went almost unnoticed, until decades later, when a few keen-eyed collectors spotted something extremely interesting. Now, typically, most pennies have a mint mark on them, either a D for Denver or a S for San Francisco. But here's the twist. Some 1967 pennies, for reasons no one really knows for sure, were produced without a mint mark. And these no mint mark pennies are the golden unicorns of the coin world. There were supposed to be a few minted, but it looks like someone messed up, and suddenly, you've got one of the rarest coins on the planet. Talk about an accident of history. But, of course, it's not just any old penny. You need to have the right conditions, perfect preservation, no wear, no scratches. It's got to be in amazing condition. Think of it like finding the one pizza slice that hasn't been touched. despite everyone trying to get a bite. If your 1967 penny is in pristine shape, it could sell for a jaw-dropping amount. Let's talk numbers here. At the height of its value, this 1967 no-mint mark penny was sold for over $2.10 million. Yes, $2 million for a tiny piece of copper. It's like winning the lottery, except instead of scratching off a ticket, you just had to be lucky enough to find this in your loose change. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, where do I find these million-dollar pennies? And here's where it gets tricky. While there are probably a few of these rare coins still floating around in the world, they're not easy to come by. Most people don't even know they have them. You might find one tucked away in your grandmother's coin jar, or maybe it's buried in your change from that random store purchase you made a few years ago. But unless you're a hardcore coin collector, or you've got an eagle eye for detail, you might not even know what you're looking at. I'll tell you a little story about my own journey with coins a few years ago. I was going through some of my old change, just like most people do when they're cleaning out their car or finding coins stuffed in a drawer. And I thought, hey, let's see if I have any coins worth more than just a couple of cents. I had no idea about rare coins back then, but I decided to start researching. After hours of flipping through my collection, I stumbled upon what I thought was just a regular 1964 penny. But as I did more research, I realized it was actually a key date in the coin world, and I ended up selling it for a nice little profit. That little experience got me hooked on the world of rare coins, and trust me, once you start finding treasures, it's hard to stop. But the real kicker is that you just never know what's out there in your own stash. So, if you're digging through your change or flipping through your spare change jar, keep an eye out for that 1967 no-mint mark penny. It could be worth more than your wildest dreams. Alright, folks, if you're not already looking at your pennies a little differently, you should be. Coins like the 1967 no-mint mark penny can make you a small fortune, and it all starts with knowing what to look for. Trust me, as someone who's been in the coin game for a while, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So, what are you waiting for? Start scouring your change jars, digging through those old coin collections, and checking your spare change like you've never checked before. You never know, you could be sitting on a gold mine. If you want more tips on which coins are worth money, strategies for finding rare coins, and other ways to turn your hobby into a potential moneymaker, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping new videos all the time with insider secrets to coin collecting and coin hunting. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. And hey, let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in your collection or your change. You might just have a hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered. How many of you have ever found a coin in your change and thought, is this thing worth a fortune? Well, guess what? That thought might just be closer to reality than you think. Especially if you're holding on to a 1968 Abraham Lincoln penny. I know. You're probably thinking, penny? Worth a fortune? That's crazy. But buckle up, because this story is not only about the rarest of pennies. It's also about how one little mint mark can change your financial future. So, grab your magnifying glasses, because we're diving into the world of rare coins and their shocking values. You won't believe how much a 1968 penny can be worth, and how that same coin can possibly make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right, a $2.20 million penny. Stick around, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's get into the details. You probably already know that the penny is often thought of as just pocket change. But in 1968, something special happened at the US Mint. They made the Abraham Lincoln penny, just like they do every year, but there was a small oops moment that happened in one of the mints that made all the difference. The 1968 penny is unique because it has an S mint mark. Now, you're probably wondering what the heck that means. Well, the mint mark shows where the coin was made, and most of the 1968 pennies had a D for Denver or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. This particular S mint mark was supposed to be for proof coins only. So, how did this penny end up being worth more than a lunch at Taco Bell? Well, there was a small batch of these 1968 pennies that slipped through the cracks and ended up in circulation. These accidental releases have caused quite the frenzy among collectors and coin enthusiasts. Now, let's talk about how much these pennies are actually worth. A regular 1968 penny might not have much value, probably just 1 cent. But if you've got one of the rare, uncirculated versions, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $100. if you're lucky. But hold on. The real kicker is that one of these rare pennies, in pristine condition, actually sold for a jaw-dropping $2.20 million. That's right, $2.2 million for a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, that's impossible. I don't have a mint condition penny just laying around. But the reality is, these rare coins do exist. So how do you find one? Let me tell you a little story from my own life. A couple of years ago, I was going through some old coins I inherited from my grandfather. Most of them were just sitting there gathering dust in a jar. I mean, I didn't think much of them. Who looks at pennies, right? So, I casually picked up a few of the oldest ones and started sorting them. Lo and behold, there was a 1968 penny sitting there, tucked in the middle of the pile. At first, I didn't even notice the mint mark. I mean, who's got time to squint at pennies? But then, I remembered something my buddy had mentioned about looking for rare coins. So I took a second glance, and sure enough, there it was, an S mint mark. My heart stopped for a second. I quickly checked it against some online price guides, and holy moly, I realized I had a valuable penny. Now, I didn't immediately make $2.2 million, but I did find out it was worth quite a bit more than I thought, about $200. And you know what? I sold it and used the money to buy a nice dinner for my family. But the point is, you don't know what's in your collection until you take the time to look. If you're going through old coins, always check for any mint marks that seem a little off. You never know when you'll find something rare hiding in the mix. So, what can we learn from all of this? Well, the 1968 penny is a perfect example of how one tiny mint mark can turn an everyday coin into something worth millions. But it's not just about having the right penny. It's about knowing what to look for, how to preserve it, and maybe even getting a little lucky. And hey, if you've got a 1968 penny, don't throw it away just yet. You might be sitting on a small fortune. If you've enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins that could be worth big bucks, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next rare coin discovery. I'm always hunting for tips, and I love sharing them with you. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next time you find a penny in your pocket, take a second look. It just might be worth more than your morning coffee. All right, raise your hand if you've ever gone through a jar of pennies, hoping to find something rare, and then thought, it's just a penny. Well, what if I told you that one single penny, just one, could be worth, drumroll please, a whopping $2.3 million? That's right, a 1971 penny, with no mint mark, is worth more than most people's entire house. And I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about it, so you can start looking through your pennies and maybe, just maybe, hit the jackpot. Stay tuned, because by the end of this, you'll be seeing pennies in a whole new light. A penny? How can a penny possibly be worth $2.3 million? And trust me, I get it. I was skeptical too, until I found out that this 1971 penny is one of the rarest, most sought-after coins in the world, and its value is going through the roof. Here's the thing. Most pennies from 1971 are totally normal, like this one right here. Nothing special. You'd probably find one of these in the back of your couch or floating around in the bottom of your purse, right? But, and this is where it gets wild, there's a small number of 1971 pennies that don't have a mint mark, and those are the ones that are worth millions. So, you might be wondering, what does a mint mark even mean? Well, let me explain. Every year, the US Mint produces coins at different locations, and they put a little mint mark on each coin to show where it was made. If you look at most 1971 pennies, you'll see a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But here's the kicker. Some 1971 pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint with absolutely no mint mark at all. And no, it's not a typo, and it's definitely not a prank. These mint markless pennies are incredibly rare. Only a few have surfaced in the market, and they're worth a jaw-dropping $2.3 million if they're in mint condition. That's right, a single penny, more than some people make in a lifetime. It's crazy, right? And these coins are so rare that they've become a kind of holy grail for coin collectors. But here's the kicker. Most of these rare 1971 pennies are out of circulation. They're either locked away in private collections or hidden in coin dealers' vaults. So, the chances of finding one today are slim, but not impossible. So, funny story. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins I found in my grandmother's attic. Because, that's what you do when you're bored. I didn't find anything worth millions, unfortunately, but I did find this dusty old 1971 penny. I figured it was just a regular one, and I almost tossed it into the spare change pile. But then I remembered hearing about these rare mint markless 1971 pennies, and I thought, wait a second, maybe, just maybe, it wasn't the $1 million version, but it sure made me check every penny a little more closely after that. Moral of the story? Never, ever underestimate the value of a coin until you've given it a good, long look. Now, let's talk about how you can tell if you've got one of these golden opportunities sitting right in front of you. First off, the coin has to be from 1971. Easy enough, right? Second, it has to be a penny with no mint mark on it. And finally, the condition of the coin matters. If it's in pristine condition, that's where the value skyrockets. We're talking about collectors who'll pay top dollar for coins that are nearly perfect, no scratches, no wear and tear. A coin like that could fetch millions. But here's where it gets tricky. The vast majority of 1971 pennies you find will have that mint mark, and even those without it might not be in mint condition. So, don't go getting too excited just yet. Check for other signs, like the sharpness of the details, the wear on the edges, and even the color of the penny. The more pristine, the better. And for those of you who don't want to hunt for pennies under a microscope, don't worry. There are plenty of other coins from different years and mint marks that can be worth a pretty penny, pun absolutely intended. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your pennies. You never know when you might stumble upon a 1971 no mint mark gem. And if you do, well, I'd suggest holding on to it, because you might just have a small fortune on your hands. But hey, even if you don't find a rare penny, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there. So, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks to spot coins worth money. And who knows, your next pocket change might just be the key to unlocking a small fortune. So, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you learned something new, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth more than you expected. Who knows, maybe we'll all be millionaires someday. So, you're sitting there, casually flipping through your pocket change when you spot a penny that's been chilling there for who knows how long. But wait, could that little copper disc possibly be worth thousands? Maybe even millions? Sounds too good to be true, right? But let me tell you about a coin that actually turned out to be worth $1.4 million. A 1993 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. Stick around, and I'll explain how this penny went from meh to moneymaker, and how you might have one hiding in your collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's get down to it. I know you've heard the phrase, find a penny, pick it up, and all day you'll have good luck. But did you know that finding the right penny could make you the next millionaire? Today, we're talking about the 1993 D Abraham Lincoln penny, which is currently valued at an insane $1.40 million. Now, before you start rummaging through your jar of pennies, let's slow down and break it all down. The first question you're probably asking is, why is this penny worth so much? Well, here's the thing. Most of the pennies you find today are pretty common. They're mass-produced, they're circulating, and they're worth exactly 1 cent. But the 1993 D Lincoln penny? That's a whole different story. The 1993 D penny has a unique flaw, a double die error. What does that mean? Well, when the coin was being struck at the Denver Mint, the die used to imprint the design onto the penny was misaligned. Instead of getting a nice, crisp Lincoln and details on the reverse, you get a penny with a double image, kind of like a blurry vision of Abraham Lincoln. Imagine someone trying to take a selfie with a filter that's just a bit too much. Same concept. Now, you're probably wondering how you can spot one of these $1 million pennies. It's not as simple as just finding any 1993 D penny. You need to look for the double die error, which gives the penny that funky, blurry look. To check if your penny has this, grab a magnifying glass or your phone's camera, don't judge, we've all done it, and inspect the details closely, especially the date and the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse. If the image is blurry or you can see a doubling effect, congratulations, you might have a rare coin. But here's the kicker. You can't just have any worn-out penny. The one that sold for $1.4 million in 2018 was in pristine condition. It was graded MS 67 by the professional coin grading service, which means it was nearly flawless. So, if your penny is looking a little too well-loved, it might not bring in the big bucks. But hey, it could still be worth more than 1 cent. You might be thinking, that's cool, but why would anyone pay $1.4 million for a penny? And I get it. It's a bit mind-blowing. But think about it like this. People pay crazy money for rare baseball cards, limited edition sneakers, or, in some cases, people pay big bucks for a grilled cheese sandwich with a face on it. The bottom line? People love collecting rare stuff, and coins like this are rare. Like, really rare. It all comes down to how many are left. Out of millions of pennies minted, only a handful with this error have survived in good condition. And since coins like this are such a unique find, they become a collector's dream. And, as you might have guessed, a way to make serious cash. Alright, let me take a quick detour here with a story of my own. A couple of years ago, I found a penny on the ground while I was walking through the park. It was all rusty and dirty, and I thought, probably just another worn-out piece of change. But then something told me, hey, maybe I should check it out. I took it home, cleaned it up, and nothing. Just a regular penny. What if I'd passed by a $1.4 million penny and never knew it? The fact that these things can be hiding in plain sight is both exciting and terrifying at the same time. Moral of the story: always check your pennies, just in case you stumble upon a treasure. So, let's wrap this up. The 1993 D. Lincoln penny is worth $1.4 million because of a rare double die error. And if you're lucky enough to find one in great condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. If you don't have one yet, don't worry. Keep checking your pocket change, and who knows? That humble penny you pick up tomorrow could be the next big thing. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or if you're now obsessively checking your pennies, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips on coin hunting, strategies to find valuable coins, and other money-making tips you won't want to miss. Who knows, you might just be the next millionaire from a random penny. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Don't forget to leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin worth more than you thought. It's always fun to hear your stories. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1970 D. Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yes, $1.5 million. And no, this isn't one of those late-night infomercials. This is 100% legit. So grab your loose change, because by the end of this video, you might just be calling your boss to say, I quit. But seriously, stick around, because we're not just talking about why this penny is so valuable. We're going to give you tips on spotting rare coins, how to sell them, and even a funny story about the time I thought I struck it rich and didn't. Alright, let's get to the nitty-gritty. First off, what makes the 1970 D. Lincoln penny so special? Well, it all comes down to a fascinating mistake. This penny was minted in Denver in 1970, but what sets it apart is a rare error called a double die obverse. Basically, the design was stamped twice on one side, causing the lettering and details to look blurry or doubled. If you have one of these pennies, you've hit the jackpot. The mint mark. Check for the little D under the date. That means it was minted in Denver. The error. Look closely at the date and the lettering on the front of the coin. If it looks like it's got a shadow or duplicate outline, that's a good sign. Condition matters. The shinier and less worn your penny is, the more valuable it'll be. A flawless coin could fetch $1.5 million, but even a worn one might still be worth thousands. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I thought I found one of these pennies. I was so pumped, I told everyone I knew. I even started looking up vacation homes in Hawaii. Talk about getting ahead of myself. Turns out, my penny wasn't the 1970 D error. It was just a regular old penny with a weird smudge. My dreams of being a millionaire? Crushed. But hey, it taught me a valuable lesson. Double-check before you celebrate. Why is someone willing to pay $1.5 million for a penny? It's all about rarity and demand. Coin collectors, or numismatists if you want to sound fancy, love unique pieces like this. To them, it's not just a coin. It's a piece of history, so let's say you find one of these beauties. What's next? Get it verified. Take it to a professional coin grader. They'll confirm if it's the real deal. Seriously, don't even think about scrubbing it with soap. Cleaning a coin can actually lower its value. The best way to get top dollar is to sell through a reputable auction house. They'll connect you with serious collectors who are ready to spend big bucks. All right, folks, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1970 D. Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million. If you've got a pile of pennies at home, now's the time to start digging. And hey, even if you don't find the golden ticket, remember, there are plenty of other rare coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be sharing more tips on how to spot valuable coins, smart strategies for selling them, and even a few stories. Have you ever casually rummaged through your pocket change and thought, man, I wish this penny was worth, I don't know, $1.6 million? Well, guess what? It could be. That's right. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that's anything but. This little copper beauty is turning heads in the coin collecting world for its jaw-dropping market value of, wait for it, $1.6 million. Yup, that's not a typo. It's million with an M. So, grab your jar of spare change and stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be heading to the bank with a magnifying glass. Now, let's get to the good stuff. What makes the 1964 D. Lincoln penny so special? Well, first off, D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced millions of pennies that year. But here's the kicker. Not all of those pennies are created equal. Some coins were struck with what collectors call transitional errors. Fancy term, right? It basically means something went wrong during production. Maybe the die used to stamp the coin was worn out, or the mint workers were having an off day. Whatever the reason, these errors created rare variations of the 1964 D penny that are now worth more than my first car, and probably yours too. And it's not just about the errors. The value also comes down to the coin's condition. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything. If your 1964 D penny looks like it's been through the laundry a few too many times, it's probably not going to make you a millionaire. But if it's in pristine, shiny, almost like it was minted yesterday condition, bingo, you've got yourself a gold mine, or, well, a copper mine.0. And here's a fun fact. The 1964 D penny is mostly made of copper, which was pretty standard back in the day. But some of these coins were accidentally struck on older leftover planchets. That's the blank piece of metal coins are made from, mint for silver dimes. Yup, a penny on a silver planchet. Imagine finding one of those in your couch cushions. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my grandma's attic, doing my best impression of an American Pickers episode, when I stumbled across an old coffee can full of pennies. My first thought was, sweet, gas money. But then I remembered hearing about rare coins on a podcast. So, I sat there for hours, going through each penny with a magnifying glass like I was Nicolas Cage in National Treasure. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a 1964 D penny, but I did find a 1919 wheat penny worth about $10. Not bad for a day's work, right? That experience taught me two things. One, you never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. And two, my grandma might have been secretly sitting on a fortune all along. All right, back to business. If you're lucky enough to find a 1964 D penny in mint condition, you're looking at serious money. At auction, these coins have fetched up to $1.6 million. But here's the deal. You don't have to hit the million-dollar jackpot to profit. Even less than perfect versions of this coin can sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So, don't dismiss a penny just because it looks old and boring. Collectors and investors are willing to pay big bucks for these coins because they're rare, historical, and, let's face it, cool to show off at parties. Imagine saying, yeah, I bought my car with a penny. Instant legend status.so. What's the takeaway here? Simple. Check your change. That jar of pennies on your dresser or that pile of coins in your car cup holder could be worth more than you think. And even if you don't find a 1964 D penny, there are plenty of other rare coins out there just waiting to be discovered. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now itching to dig through your piggy bank, hit that subscribe button and join our community of treasure hunters. We're here to share tips, tricks, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into big bucks. Oh, And don't forget to like this video and leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. Who knows? Your story might inspire someone else to strike it rich. Thanks for watching, and remember, every penny counts, especially the ones worth $1.6 million. You're rummaging through a pile of pocket change, maybe just trying to scrape together enough for a vending machine snack, and then bam! Hidden in plain sight is a penny that could make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the 2002 D-Mint Abraham Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, one of these tiny coins recently sold for an eye-popping $1.7 million. That's right, a penny worth more than a luxury mansion. How's that for a plot twist? So grab your magnifying glass and your coin jar, because we're diving into why this penny is worth so much, how you can spot one, and what to do if you think you've got the next million-dollar treasure hiding in your couch cushions. First, let's talk about why the 2002 D Lincoln penny is causing such a stir. You see, most pennies from this year and mint aren't anything special. They were minted by the billions, yes, billions with a B, at the Denver Mint. So, what's the big deal about this one? Well, the magic lies in a unique minting error. Collectors call it a double die error. In simple terms, during the minting process, the design on the coin got stamped twice, but slightly off-center. This creates a noticeable doubling effect on the inscriptions or Lincoln's portrait. And if you've got one in pristine condition, known as mint state, you've just hit the jackpot. Now, here's where it gets wild. The coin that sold for $1.7 million wasn't just any double die error. It was a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. A coin like that doesn't just look good. It's the Beyoncé of pennies, flawless, iconic, and highly sought after. But let's get real for a second. You might be wondering, how am I supposed to spot this millionaire penny in a pile of boring change? The key is in the details. Look closely at the date, the word Liberty, or even Lincoln's face. If you see any funky doubling, congratulations, you might be holding on to something special. A couple of months ago, I was helping my niece with her school coin project. We were going through a jar of pennies when I found a coin that looked a little odd. I nearly had a heart attack thinking it was the 2002 D double die. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Turns out, it was just a scratched-up penny. But hey, at least it got me into the habit of checking my change a lot more carefully. If you're lucky enough to find a coin like this, don't just toss it on eBay for a quick buck. Get it professionally graded by an organization like PCGS or NGC. Trust me, their certification can be the difference between selling it for a few $100s and selling it for life-changing money. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 2002 D-Mint Abraham Lincoln penny is proof that treasure hunting isn't just for pirate movies. It's happening in your pocket, in your couch cushions, and in that old jar of coins you've been ignoring for years. So here's your challenge. Go through your pennies. Check every single one. Who knows? You might be holding on to your first $1 million. If you found today's video helpful or just plain fun, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin lovers. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories to help you uncover the hidden treasures in your everyday life.